everyone, so I'm out here. I decided to go through and show you how I make rhubarb jelly. So behind me is my dad's garden, and I'm gonna flip the camera and show you my rhubarb. This right here is a big giant rhubarb plant. In front of it some grapevines. So I'm gonna cut off the stalks and then cut the leaves off. So I'll go ahead and start doing that, and I'll show you what they look like. Okay, so this is what I have left of my rhubarb plant after I've chopped it down. I try to leave some leaves for coverage. I don't really know if you need to or not, but I do just because it's, you know, still summer. I don't want it getting dried out and hot. And then this is my pile of rhubarb. So you don't eat the leaves of the rhubarb, you just eat the stem, this part right here. I don't have a tripod with me or anything, so I'm gonna take my scissors and cut off the leaves. And this is the part that I'm gonna save. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that to my pile and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm all done chopping everything up. Let's see. That's my rhubarb, and that's my pile of leaves. And I'm gonna go inside and relax for a minute. So I'm back inside, and what I'm gonna do now is put the rhubarb that I've cut into the sink with some cold water and just wash it off, and then I'm gonna chop it into little pieces. So this is what you end up with, a whole nice bowl of freshly chopped rhubarb, cleaned, and I took off the spots that didn't look very good, like if they were a little dried out or just didn't look, you know, pretty. I took them off. So these are all nice pretty rhubarb pieces. Hey, so I'm back. Today is day 2 of jelly making, and so I guess it's like jelly season, and they really don't have that much Certo at stores. Certo is the pectin product I use to make jelly. And so my husband picked up the liquid kind, and last time I used the liquid kind, I did it wrong. If you use the powder kind, you have to put the pectin in a different time than you put in the liquid kind. And last time I did in the wrong order, and because of it, my jam did not set. So I have the instructions. I've been reading them. I'm gonna hope that I do it right this time. So because I am going to be canning them and doing a heated thing because I want them to be shelf stable, I have to sanitize my jars first. I'm gonna flip the camera and show you my little setup. So this is my pot that the jelly will be made in. This is my big giant canning pot. Right now I'm boiling water for my jars. It says it makes 8 cups of jelly. So I'll show you my little, I'm going to be doing the, what equates to pretty much a triple berry, even though it's rhubarb, but this is the recipe I used before for the rhubarb. And it's just 4 cups of fruit and then 7 cups of sugar plus your pouch of Certo. And you end up with 8 cups of jelly. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with 4 cups of liquid and then 7 cups of sugar. So right now I'm just waiting for this to come to a boil so that I can sanitize my jars. And in the meantime, I think I'm going to start getting my fruit ready. Some of the extra stuff I'll need is a pan because I have to cook down my rhubarb. This is a tool for pulling the jars in and out of the water. It's very handy. This is just a funnel to help make putting the jam in the jars easier. My jars, and then I'm going to have a ladle and a spatula, and I think that's about it. I forgot measuring cup. They're important too. My water is boiling, so I'm going to add in my jars. So I don't want to burn myself, so I'm going to do this using my tool. It's really simple. You just clamp your jars on, then you can just set them in. Okay, they want to go in. I have to fill with water. That way I'm not just dropping them in. So I need 4 cups of fruit, and you just want the liquid, so I need to cook down my rhubarb. I've had the rhubarb in the fridge overnight just to stay fresh, so I'm not exactly sure how much I'm gonna need. I'm gonna probably do 8 cups because you do need quite a bit. It cooks down a lot. So. Okay, something else to remember is if you're using a metal pot like this, make sure you put on gloves before you take off the lid, because it's no fun when you don't. This is what the rhubarb is starting to look like. You can see it's getting pretty soft and squishy, and the water should boil out, but I gotta cook it longer because I still have chunks. You don't want any of those chunks. You want it to be pretty smooth. It's gonna still look fibrous because it's gonna have these little fibers in it. I don't know if you can see. Where's my spoon? So you can kind of see the little fibers. But when you have the jelly, you don't really notice them that much. So I'm gonna keep cooking. Okay, so this is looking good to me. Now I'm gonna measure out 4 even cups into a bigger pan. So I'm gonna swap pans and measure out 4 cups of rhubarb. Oh, I don't think I might have enough. Okay, so I do not have enough rhubarb, so I'm going to have to make some more. In this we've learned that approximately 12 cups of rhubarb will give you 4 cups. 12 cups of cooked rhubarb, fresh rhubarb will give you 4 cups of cooked rhubarb. Let's see. I want freezer jam. Not about that life. Don't have it in the freezer for it. I want cooked jam. I need 7 cups of sugar. So let me turn my heat back on. So we're going to cook this until it's boiling. And then we're going to boil it for 1 minute. And then we're going to add our sturdo gel. And at this point, we're going to add a pat of butter in. And that'll help with the foaming. Yeah, just a little teaspoon of butter. And that'll help with any foaming issues. We are very close to a boiling thingamabobber. Very close. It's already started to bubble. If I leave it, it boils. But not when I stir it. So we're getting very, very close to where we need to be. Yeah, we're there. So I'm stirring it, it's still boiling. So at this point I'm going to put my timer on for a minute. And we're going to cook it for a minute. And then we're going to add the sturdo and cook it for another minute. And then ladle it into the jars. That's off. I'm going to add my sturdo juice. Sorry. Okay. Sturdo is in. Timer is on for a minute. I'm going to skim off any foam on my jelly really quick. And there really isn't very much. I think the butter definitely does help. And I'm going to do like a little spoonful too, just to see how it tastes afterwards. You want to fill it up, it says, with just 1/4 of an inch left. And so, with the little jelly spoon, what's it called? I get a little bit of extra space. So that's how full I want it to be. Okay, so I'm going to go fill the rest of them, and then I'll be back. So when you put the lids on, you want to make sure you wipe off the edges. And let's put that on. And you only tighten it hand tight because they have to have some room to expand. So I'm going to do that, and then we're gonna can them. So to can them, I'm just gonna pick it up. Sorry, pick it up with my tool, and I'm just gonna set it in. And I have a little treble, I think they're called. I'm not sure. In there, and I'm gonna set them all in there, and then cover them with water. I'll be back. All my jars are in there, but you can see there's not very much water on top of them. So this is where my boiling water is gonna come in. And we're just putting more water on top. Okay, so we're all covered, and you can see little bubbles coming up. The water is very hot, but it won't really boil until I put the lid on, just because of the pan. It's very weird. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So this is the foam that I peeled off, and a couple extra spoonfuls of jelly. So you can see it's getting pretty solid. So that's a good sign that the jelly will actually gel. I'm gonna put it on some toast with bread and see how it tastes. Okay, I'm back. So this is what the jelly looks like on some toast that I overcooked. You see it's kind of chunky. It's a jam, it's not jelly, but it's kind of chunky. It doesn't look great because it's the foamy stuff that I took off the top and just a couple extra spoonfuls of jelly, but it did get solid, and it's so good. It's sweet, rhubarby. I'm really bad at describing flavors. Have you ever had raw rhubarb? It's very, very sour. A lot of people dip it in sugar and then chew on it. And this is pretty much the best flavors of that, but sweet. And just delicious. If you've never had rhubarb jam or jelly, you should definitely try some. If you have friends who have rhubarb, be like, I need some. You know, be like, I'll make you some jelly. Okay. Well, I'm not sure how long it's going to take the other ones to pop, so we'll see. Hopefully they all pop. 2 definitely did, so that's a good sign. That's about it. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe.